Hope everyone is well. Hopefully, everyone had a very productive and lucrative week. Let me just double check to make sure that the audio is working because you know how this is. Let me double check here. I'm seeing weirdness on YouTube. Good thing I'm checking. Definitely working on other platforms. Let me know if you can hear me if you're in there. Hey, we're good. We're good. Lovely. All right. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. It's been a week, huh? Anybody been following what's going on? It's pretty crazy. I have a few things that I'd like to chat about. We can talk about some more stuff, some updates that I'm working on, some things that I want to give you guys, provide you all, because again, learn, try, share. That's the motto here, right? So, no particular order. If you guys have questions, we can obviously have a conversation as we go through here. But I do have some items on the list, and I think they're pretty valuable to those that are building websites for themselves, clients, other things like that. So let's just dive into it, shall we? The first thing is super just random. Is I decided to change my name. So if you noticed, it was Mark Joseph Szymanski before. It's just gonna be Mark Szymanski from now on. I did that for a litany of reasons, just simplicity and all sorts of stuff. And I'm like a branding, like a brand. I'm just anal about like the whole branding thing. So I wanted to have more consistency there. So things will be changing there. Not really anything that matters, but just in case you did notice that, we're going to go just Mark Szymanski from now on. It's a little cleaner, a little nicer. I put out a poll on Twitter and LinkedIn, and pretty much everybody told me to do that. So that's what we'll do. Not a big deal there, but just some back end stuff that's a little different. A couple things, housekeeping items from me, and I'll share my screen because we got a lot to kind of show today. Is let me go over here. So obviously the channel here, as I was just mentioning, like Mark Szymanski, I'm going to change some of this other stuff, but actually one of the things that brought it up and is I'm going to be on the WP Minute. Me and Matt are going to do a live stream on March 11th at 1 p.m. So if you're not already subbed to Matt, definitely go do that. I'll drop the link to this video specifically here in the description or in the chat here. So go over there and like this video up and subscribe. Matt's been doing a lot of great work for a long time in WordPress. And I'm just very grateful that I get the opportunity to sit down and chat with him. We actually did a podcast together probably about a month ago, and I think that's going to be coming out soon as well. So look out for that. I'll definitely share that when it comes out. But this is a big topic, right? I mean, just to riff on this for a second, like choosing a page builder and choosing like what you're going to build your business off of and everything like that. I think that is something that I get obviously asked all the time. And just with my, kind of like direction and things that I've done in the past with going from Elementor to now Bricks. And then, you bring Gutenberg into the fold, and we'll talk about it here in a second because everybody is, it's on the title of this video or the thumbnail. And it's something that everybody is in the WordPress community. Even if you didn't use Cwicly, that's like, there's just a lot to talk about there. And I did make that video earlier this week that just gave a little bit of the high level, but we can chat about it more. I don't want to necessarily beat a dead horse, but I do think it is pertinent to a lot of people's businesses, whether you're trying to run an agency or whether you're just trying to run your own site that makes you money, or that you just have for, a blog or whatever. You can't be using stuff that's no longer going to be supported. So yeah, just a lot of stuff to discuss there on that front. But definitely go check out WP Minute, and again, I'll share the stuff out when we're live and subsequent videos and everything like that. But that should be a really great conversation. I'm sure we'll chat about a lot of Gutenberg versus other page builders and things like that. I think it'll be fantastic. I don't. There's a couple things that I want to do. I still haven't done this whole like reaction type stuff where I react to videos on stream. I'm not saying like just to give my thoughts, because like a lot of times like I watch a ton of YouTube content here. I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is literally my subscriptions. 99.9% of it is WordPress related, tech related, all that sort of stuff. Fantastic creators. If you see anybody on here that you know, go right now and like one of their videos. If you see anybody you don't know, go to them and subscribe to them. Okay. But this is like what my subscription feed literally looks like, right? So I don't want to, we're not going to go into every video or anything, but I want to highlight a couple ones that are very interesting to me. Obviously, Paul, WP Toots, hell of a guy, incredible OG in the space, right? Talked about the Cwicly aftermath. Great breakdown there with everything. Again, we'll chat about that here in a second. If you guys want to, we'll just kind of like riff on that for a little bit. I'll kind of give some more of my thoughts. So that was a great video. Like I already mentioned, our one upcoming live stream. I want to talk about Jamie and Brian's video here in a second, because it just I feel like it heavily relates to Cwicly. It's obviously Gutenberg core, but it's all very similar because Cwicly was kind of like sat atop Gutenberg in a way, or it played very, very nicely with it. Then a couple of things, obviously, Kevin, great content here. I'm just shouting everybody out here because I really appreciate it. And then the big thing was like, WordPress 6.5, everything like that kind of coming out. The other one big thing, and then we'll come back to it, is Kyle over at the admin bar just had the chat with Tom Osborne. But like this whole thing, this really just revolves around the whole page builders thing, right? Like you can go bricks, you could go Elementor, Divi, whatever, you could go closer to core. And if you go closer to core, you had the Cwicly option, but now you don't. Now you have either actual core or you have like generate press and generate blocks. And I don't have enough experience with those things, but I'm learning just from like watching and listening and everything like that. And the couple videos that Kyle put out this week about obviously patterns and stuff like that, but like specifically the class-based system now that is in the core, or well, actually, I guess it's in generate blocks, but it's like, still all revolving around that. I do think that's going to be a big game changer. So I don't know exactly. I mean, it was just a lot of buzz earlier this week, and I think that something like that makes me more interested in jumping closer to core. But I would still say it's definitely not there for me yet. Just from kind of what I've seen, just again from osmosis, just kind of playing around with it. But all those types of things are really interesting. Specifically on this video, I think you should all go watch this video as well. I'll drop this in there. This is Jamie Marsland, Brian Cords. A great video here talking about different things like how to fix Gutenberg. So somebody like me, right, I'm gonna be 100% candid. When I see a video like this, I'm extremely interested because it doesn't sound like we're just like fluffing Gutenberg. Everybody, if you don't want Gutenberg to get better, then again, I've said this before, if you don't want the core of WordPress to get better, then you don't want WordPress to get better. And I'm not sure why you wouldn't want that, because if you build websites on WordPress, you should want it to get better. Because if core was like terrible, 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 and they kept going that direction or whatever, then WordPress would probably cease to be a thing. And regardless of what page builder you were using, you would still be fucked regardless. So that mindset doesn't make sense. I'm not saying anybody has that mindset, but I'm just saying if you did, it does make sense. So with that out of the way, then you think, okay, well, even if you don't use core or Gutenberg or whatever, then you should want it to be better. So when I see a video personally from how to fix Gutenberg and two guys talking about it that know way better than I do, right, and are in it a lot more, I'm very intrigued by this. So like we're not going to watch this obviously here, but like go watch it. And the kind of the agenda here is on the left, and I kind of caught it a little later in the block editor piece, and it's just very interesting to kind of see, again, just specifically Brian and Jamie, but the people in the comments, how everybody processes everything. And the one thing, my one big takeaway from consuming content in the Gutenberg, we'll call it like realm of content, is it is definitely improving, especially with things like generate blocks and generate press, like kind of being a part of it again in a way. But like at the core of the argument of the core of WordPress, I still am confused about what we want. Like what the goal is. Is it, if it's for everyone? I know, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think it's really important. Like, is it for everyone where like it's everyone can use every bit of the UI and every bit of the platform, like the average person can know everything. It sounds like in some of the videos that I watch, it's like we purposefully want to nerf Gutenberg. So it's not that. I don't know if everyone holds that opinion, but that's almost kind of how it sounds. And go watch that video as an example and other ones. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand literally people's like thoughts and their frame of mind on these things. So then we can have like a broader discussion. Okay, you think that way. That makes total sense. I understand that now. This other person and these other people think this way. Is there any way we can ever agree on this? Yes, no, maybe. And then from there, I just feel like it's a better discussion because everybody's like on a level playing field as far as understanding what they want out of the thing and what they think the goals should be. Again, I'm getting more involved in like WordPress. Like I'm in the Slack now. It's still, in my opinion, kind of difficult to kind of navigate and everything like that. But obviously, I'm new to it, so I'll update you on that. Talking with people like Matt over at WP Minute is definitely going to help me because just people that are closer to it, I think, it'll be a little bit more interesting. So yeah, I don't know. Isaac, what's up, brother? Let's see. For sure, the choice of React is an absolute message. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of I just think, again, we've talked about it so much and so many people have talked about it on different channels. It's like such a weird middle ground where like you have to, it's like, oh, you have to know React to build shit, but at the same time, like we want the UI to be so basic that like a third grader could use it and not have classes and just the one thing I'm going to say this super off the cuff, not really a lot of enough experience per se in the platform, but I have definitely, again, through osmosis. Why are we renaming shit that doesn't need to be renamed? I've seen that in so many other things. Kevin Geary brought it up in about the I think about the classes and generate blocks, I believe. Like, don't rename shit that doesn't need to be renamed. Like, I'm saying this from personal experience though. Like, I've done this in my agency business too many fucking times. There's no reason to rename something just to reinvent the wheel for no reason. It's most of the time, if it's super standard, it's not even going to give you what you want, especially in the technical side that we're talking about here though. Like if you are building a class based system, don't call it styles or whatever the fuck else there is. Like, and I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say that. I'm just saying like I want that to succeed, and there's no reason to make the semantic language of the feature more difficult for people to understand. It's like this is what you're building. It has a name already, whether you like the name or not, that's whatever. But if that's what you're building, then you have to at least call it that, or at least like somehow denote that that's what it is at a technical level and a general level. And then maybe you could say like, oh, this is our style system, but these are like, I don't know. But that's my thing is like, I feel like there's a lot of that kind of going on. And I just feels like really wheel reinventy. And I just think that is that's causing more harm than good, because then you have people that are maybe perhaps a little bit more technically inclined. And then they're like, why are we renaming stuff? It's like, if this was named the way that it should be, it would be easier to deal with, easier to play around with. I don't know. So that's just my 2 cents on that. But again, bottom line, I want to reiterate, because I don't want to end up being the the ridiculous guy here that everybody like thinks, oh, hates Gutenberg. It's not me. Obviously, I want WordPress to continue to move forward. I want Gutenberg to continue to get better. I'm going to start playing with Gutenberg here as it starts to continue to evolve, because I think that would be a responsible thing for me to do. But ultimately, still with bricks, and love bricks, and I think it's fantastic. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the page builder thing. But again, more content to come there. I'm very excited to start stepping outside of the just the me talking to the camera and you find folks, and like have other people on the channel go on other channels. I think that's obviously right here on the horizon. So there's a lot of good stuff there with all that. The other thing I want to chat about, obviously, in relation to all that, as far as page builder thing, obviously Cwicly discontinued. I'm not going to necessarily beat a dead horse here. Go watch the video that I put up the other day. I'll recap that slightly, but also watch other people's videos, because everybody else has like even a deeper understanding of the Cwicly situation. But yeah, 1 second. Let's see what we got here in the comments. Skating choreographer. Hey, buddy, nice to see you live. Thank you for the videos and help the community. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that comment. Thank you, Skater. yeah, appreciate it. Live every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So we'll be here every time. But I appreciate you stopping in. Thank you so much. The Quickly stuff, again, don't want to be dead horse here specifically with this, but is an interesting thing. I am super excited. I've gotten so many comments, and I try also, I probably said this before, but I try to comment and respond to every single comment on every single video. So if you ever have a question or anything like that, I'll do my best in there, to the extent that I can. And I've gotten so many comments on this Quickly video that we put up. Again, you guys supported the hell out of that. I really appreciate that. And honestly, I mean, I feel like I could have even done a better job in that, but it was so early on. Really, again, what happened there was it was right away on a Sunday morning, and I was like, "Oh, this seems serious." And I've never used Quickly, but like I know a lot of people that do, and I've seen videos on it and stuff like that. And I know it rocked a lot of people's worlds because that's unfortunate. And I think to me, again, there's so much surrounding that like story, if you will. Um, but but yeah, there's so much surrounding it, and I don't you know, I don't want to comment or speculate on any of it. Like I'm sure other people are going to, and hopefully, all I hope, and I don't even necessarily know if it matters per se, but I just hope that people that are affected, somehow get some sort of fix to that in a way, or I just don't want to have people in this community like being like troubled by like severely troubled and their business being impacted financially and everything from this. Hopefully that's it goes as smoothly as possible. And then if there is any more to the story, like I would like to hear it, just because I'd like to know, not even because I'd like to know like people's like like deep, dirty laundry or whatever the fuck. Like not like that. It's just like I like to learn from these experiences. Like if I ever created a product one day, which I can absolutely see myself potentially doing at some point, because that seems like literally how everybody goes through this, this cycle of like agency and then creator and then product and all that. I have no ideas yet, but I'm saying if I was ever in that situation, I would love to learn from something like this, because this seems like it's an extremely popular and like powerful product that just kapoof. So if there's any lessons to be learned there, that's just the type of person I am. I'm not trying to like, criticize or judge necessarily. I'm just trying to, learn. So so I just hope that we like I said, do learn a little bit more about that if there is anything to learn from that. And I wish all the, team and everybody that's affected by it the best. But kind of moving forward and thinking about it is, I will say I need to make more kind of content about this, or like talk about this more. And we'll start right now. Is that there is a real question. There is a conversation to be had, not right or wrong, but there's a conversation to be had about the concept of supporting small, like picking small dev teams over larger, more established, more mature platforms. Now, again, I don't really have a preference either way. I actually more so just try to see what the best product is for my business, or for the stuff that we're doing on the channel or whatever. And that's the way in which I kind of navigate most of the time. However, I'm not saying you should base your decision off of the size of the team, the maturity of the product, and all that, but you should probably consider it. Like it's one of those things you should have in the back of your mind. It's like, well, this plugin or theme or piece of software has literally one developer that is managing, creating, and doing everything for it. It could be the best thing ever, but it has one developer. I'll relate this to something else in a second, but like it has one developer. If that developer, heaven forbid, walked outside, got struck by lightning, I mean, like what happens there? Like that is a concern. I'm not saying it's like the end of the world. I'm not saying that that's even likely for them to get struck by lightning or whatever. I'm just saying that anything could happen and you have to be prepared for it. It's really just kind of the risks and the costs and the dangers of doing business in general, because that can happen at anything. I mean, again, nothing's really too big to fail, right? I mean, and then you have those questions. It's like if you go with a really big company, then they're going to be doing something else to screw you. I'm not saying that again one way is right or wrong. I'm just saying that again, if you are going to decide to use small developers, just understand that at any point something could happen and you may have to pivot, and that's it. It is what it is. But this is just an example of that with Cwicly. To a certain extent, I'm pretty sure the team was kind of small, but it again, it was a great product, so it's like you can't really blame anybody for it. So it's just an unfortunate situation. Hopefully it gets rectified as best as it can. And, and we kind of learn from it and kind of continue to move on, but it is definitely something that I think we should all think about as we continue to move forward and grow our businesses and different things like that and build cooler websites. So that is what it is. Okay, so if we don't have anything else crazy on that, I do have another thing. This is just again, this is just a week of announcements and a week of crazy stuff going on of honestly some cool, some crazy, whatever. Another thing is I talked to Calvin over at Fortress a reasonable amount, and what we've been talking about here recently is like his most recent drop, his release in Fortress called Code Freeze. I'm going to stop here for a second and I'm going to tell you that I am not by any means a security expert. And I actually hope to have many more security experts on this channel. Let me know if you guys want to see that, because I know that that's been a whole crazy, thing, obviously recently with the Cwicly and with the brick situation. But I would like to be more involved in that conversation, because I think that that is kind of overlooked. And I think that it's something that is kind of like scary, technical, like it's technical, not technical. It's like a weird middle ground where the lay person, the average developer probably doesn't, they probably think, oh, I just, put it on like a plugin on my website and I have security. It's like, there's a lot more to it than that. And I have some ideas on how to kind of educate people on that based on the stuff that I've learned and kind of put together in a way that is just a more teachable, I feel like a more teachable vehicle for you guys with the security side. But specifically here this week, Fortress, let me give you a high level if you don't know. Fortress is a security suite that comes with GridPane. If you have GridPane hosting, it's part of that. You could also get Fortress via, I believe it's right here. If you go to fortress.snicko.io, if you go down to the bottom here, I think it's like, $49 a month or whatever. But I'm not saying just go and get this. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what this is. So it's a security suite of different things that Calvin is a genius when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I don't want to go super deep into it because again, I want to make sure that I'm not saying things incorrectly, but there's Fortress, there is pillars, vaults and pillars, and then it's like kind of a it's kind of, again, it's just a security suite of different things that it kind of does. Again, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but the specific thing that came out this week is Code Freeze. And it's really interesting because it kind of basically locks down your website to the next level where you can't add or delete plugins. Like you can't mess with that part of the code base without like turning this off or going through, I think, WP CLI. So if you saw this a while ago, I remember seeing this now, is he put out a poll, and it was like, how often do you add or remove plugins? And for me, I would say probably almost never after the site's, running and in production, because, unless I'm adding like a new feature or something, I'm probably not going to be changing the stack up too much. So, with that initial research, there's kind of like some information here, and I'll drop this link in here too for you guys if you want to go directly to it. But basically that's what it is like there's plugins, and obviously we have plugins on our websites, and now you can see there's not like a deactivate or anything like that on here. There's just just can't do anything. I guess the concept, the idea here is that if somebody were to gain access, then they wouldn't be able to like add things without without being able to turn this off and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know, just a really interesting thing, very new. But you can see how it changes kind of some of the settings there. There's a bunch of different, FAQs and everything like that. I'm just really excited for these types of things because I think that there is more, there's more to security than a lot of people are led to believe initially in the WordPress community. And when that is the case, like when you have something like that, where there's just like the surface level gets you so far, but if you want to be like a real robust professional in that area, then you have to start knowing other things and you have to layer on stuff. And it just gets really confusing really quickly. And there's a lot of, like I said, good visualizations, but I'm working on something. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know. Click the like button, give me a comment or anything like that in the videos. But that is something that I think is really, really important as you continue to scale your agency or just your business in general with your personal websites and stuff like that. So excited about Code Freeze. I think there's a lot of really cool things that can happen there. The next thing that I want to chat about here is something that came on my radar this week as well, and I want to pull up. I want to pull up a. I want to pull up something real quick because I think this would be a really good example. Okay, so we got it here. All right, so let me go to here. So a gentleman by the name of Derek Ashauer. I might have pronounced that wrong. I apologize, Derek. But plugin called Conversion Bridge. Okay. Now, I want to do more on this. I just can't wrap my head around specifically how I would do it right now because of the like kind of the projects I'm working on. I think this can work in so many different ways, but I wanted to give you guys a high level right now. And if you are interested in something like this, because I know that a lot of people are definitely that could definitely utilize this right now. But if you need it before I create a video or before Derek comes on the channel and we talk about it together and kind of demo it and everything like that, just go take a look at it, watch some other videos, and go go test for yourself. But the idea of Conversion Bridge here is that actually real quick comment here from Abdul. Please finish the WordPress client portal series. I'm very much waiting for that series. I'm filming a video right after I'm done with this for the next part. I know that it's taken a little while. It's a pain in the ass. There's a lot of work to do. I apologize. Got a little caught up, but yeah, more videos on the way. I'm filming one right after this, so look out for that. Anyway, Conversion Bridge. So I may screw this up as far as like the understanding of what this is, but basically you're tracking conversions from plugins like in analytic platforms. So the way that I can kind of see this is if you go to, I want to say maybe CL integrations. Okay. So I'm going to explain this as the way that I understand it. And then when Derek's here, we can talk about it more, or you can just watch more videos, or you can go test it for yourself. The idea here though, is that you have all these analytic platforms that you could possibly use, right? A lot of us use Google Analytics. You might use Fathom, you might use whatever. Those platforms only, I think standardly only really, kind of check your traffic and your sources and things like that. There's obviously, I think, something in Google Analytics called like, or there used to be at least it called like events, and you could set all that up, but it's a real pain in the ass, I think, for like GA4. They've changed a lot of the stuff, it's wild, right? So you don't really want, like, if you're not like deep into analytics in like Google Analytics, for instance, then you're probably not going to know how to do all that sort of stuff. And then again, there's a bunch of other ones that you could learn and play around with as well. But the idea being is that you have the analytics platforms, and what Conversion Bridge does is it takes the information from your website and it dumps it kind of like into those platforms, and you're able to kind of like play with that data a little bit more. So there's like ad platforms that you can connect. There's all sorts of different WordPress plugins. For instance, like if I'm looking at this list, like I love that like Jet Form Builder is coming soon. Obviously WS Form, we've kind of transitioned over there, so that's already on there. There's just, if you just look at this list, there's a ton of stuff, right? So, and is that just the forms, or is that all of them? I think yeah, there's a ton. So, so there's a ton. I know there's more things coming. So there's just a lot to do here. But the idea here is if you are somebody, I'm going to give you like a high level thought process on like why you would want to use Conversion Bridge, and just like me looking at it, why I think it would be really impactful. Is like, if you're somebody that is pretty good at making websites, or you already have made like one website, if you're not an agency, if you're just doing one thing, if you want to be able to track the information and the conversions and the different things that your website is actually doing at a higher level, and not again just the traffic, but more of like the actual, whether it's affiliate conversions or just form conversions, job applications, like whatever that is, this seems like one of the best things that I've ever seen for that. I don't know if there's anything else even doing it remotely as robust as this. So again, I'm a super noob to this. I'm just trying to give you the high level, but I talked to Derek on Twitter, and I think that or X, I guess, whatever, and I think that it would be a great thing for us to chat about. And like I said, I'm trying to get more people again like on the channel and talking about different things, because I think, again, just like I was talking about with security, there's a lot of really good plugins and different platforms and things out there that I want to, quite frankly, I want to try. And then also I think a lot of you guys could benefit from, because I will say this, the one thing that I think we need to continue to move forward, and I kind of want to be I don't want to say influencer, but I want to like kind of be like a proponent of this, is I want to make sure that we're supporting the other people doing great work in the community, like Derek at Conversion Bridge, that are working really hard to make something really cool that makes our lives better. And instead of trying to find some sort of like free solution that is, maybe almost like a hobby project, like and trying to patch things together like that I see a lot of people do. Like instead of doing that, it's like if you're serious and you want to be a professional and you want to build sites for yourself or somebody else and make money from it, you have to obviously spend money to make money. And I think that something like this is a really good example. Is like you could probably play around and do different things and try to, kind of tape things together. But something like this is a really robust solution. And I want to be a little bit more of a I don't know, a voice or like an interpreter, I guess, in the way of bringing in plugin creators or different things like that, security experts talking about, asking different questions and then hopefully passing a lot of that information on to you guys. So that's candidly where I'm at right now, and I think that there's a lot of need for that. There's already a lot of people doing a really good job, but we can always use more. So I'm super excited about chatting with different people and having those conversations. So yeah, definitely check out Conversion Bridge if you haven't. I will drop this if I get this link, I'll drop that in the chat too for you guys. Just go take a look at that, see if it's something that you think could benefit you or your business. What else we got to talk about here? Let's see. Looking at my list, honestly, I think that's kind of pretty much it. If anybody has any questions, we can talk more about that. I will also go over to the portal series really quick, which is wpclientportal.co. Oops, there we go. And we'll take a look at this, and I'll tell you what is next to come here. So we talked about archive, templating, and conditions and everything like that. So we started kind of setting up the like the website piece of it. So there's like a website. Let me just actually click into this. Refresh memory. Do notch. There we go. Yeah. So we were kind of doing the website piece. Obviously, you guys probably know where we're at here. The next piece of this is definitely going to be. We're very close to like the e-commerce portion of it because we got to do the websites here, and then we have to do. We could do like projects as well and kind of layer that in there, but there's just a lot of like weird stuff and obviously styling and everything like that to do. I don't know how much styling I'm really going to end up doing specifically on stream. I'll try to do as much as possible, but I think that there's just going to be a lot of the structure and the functionality and everything like that is what I always get questions on, and it's tough if there's not that's where that seems like where everybody gets tripped up, right? Styling is one thing or whatever, and if you're not making anything super crazy, and that's relatively straightforward. So I don't know, playing around with that a little bit. But if we're light on questions today, I could either try to do something for us or we could just kind of call it here. But there's a lot of I don't know if I talked about this recently. That is not going to take me where I want. There we go. I am going to be making a video on Bento as well very soon, just so we know. Just if you guys are excited, again, go there now. Again, I'm giving you sneak peeks because you're here. If you're here, you're getting sneak peeks. The Bento emailing platform, it's kind of, again, like, it's an equivalent to, it's not an equivalent, but it's an email marketing platform and automation, everything like that. So if you're familiar with like MailChimp or ConvertKit or whatever, Bento seems like it's pretty legit. I am a customer, and I've talked to Jesse directly, the founder, and it's pretty fantastic. I can't, like I said, I can try to go into more depth if you want to right now, but it has email, it has chat, it has like automation and flows and everything like that for like a extremely reasonable 1-tier price. Like, okay, depending on like your users or whatever. And it's outrageous. I mean, it's unbelievable. So far, I've just been very, very impressed with everything that I've seen there. And the one thing is, like, I don't know how many walkthroughs and everything like they have. So I will be filming a video on that pretty soon just to kind of show my experience and show what you can expect. Cause I don't know, this website looks sick, right? But yeah, so that's just another thing. Go check out Bento if you haven't already. What do we got here? Let's see. Slide back over here. Just curious if you've ever tried North Commerce, and if so, what do you think of it? Don't worry if you haven't. No, I'm talking about. I appreciate the question there. So I have not tried North Commerce. Funny enough, couple things. I have. I'm assuming this is it. North plugins, North Commerce. Um, Funny enough, I have for some reason recently gotten ads. I mean, it's not that funny because I'm always talking about this stuff, but I noticed that I have gotten, I don't know if it was on Facebook or what it was, but ads for North Commerce. Um, we can riff on this for a second because like I have used WooCommerce several times and I've never really had an issue with it, but I really have to consider using SureCart or North Commerce in the future because there's just, I guess they have a new website over here. Yeah, like I just have to consider using a different option. Here's the thing. I don't want to use a different option because I know that WooCommerce is like just so it's honestly it's kind of like an Elementor situation. Like Elementor is so robust in its ecosystem, but there's so many things that people like hate about it or it's bad or whatever, right? I feel like it's the same exact thing as WooCommerce. And then North Commerce, I don't know enough about it, so I'm literally just talking basically out of my ass here, but obviously it's another e-commerce situation. And SureCart seems fantastic. Adam, at the helm of that, Adam Pressler, I think that just makes total sense to consider that. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, like I don't know how physical products are on there yet. I'm not even trying to sell physical products, but you get the idea. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't have enough info. I'd love to hear what you guys think about North Commerce and everything like that. Um, but yeah, Peter, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother. Meetup. I don't, a funny random thing about Meetup is, here in Pittsburgh, the Meetup scene has been kind of destroyed a little bit. It was destroyed like from like COVID time, and then now it's kind of like a little bit revitalized. And I recently went to one of the meetups. And I would highly encourage you guys to go to meetups. By the way, just randomly, like meetups in your local area is something that I'm trying to do way more of because I want to create like a little bit of a localized community as well, and then kind of work out from there. And the WordPress meetup group, like there's a ton of them. Like I mean, they're all over the place. So I mean, I guarantee you somewhere near you is probably one of them. But I went to a meetup group and a lot of great people, a lot of um, very interesting. I know this is a tangent, but I think it's somewhat pertinent. A lot of interesting folks at the meetup group because I didn't realize that like people that use WordPress but would come to a meetup group that like aren't agency owners or not on their own. They're like literally using WordPress for an agency. Just like a super interesting thing that I didn't fully understand until I went there. And we're talking about like page speed insights and all sorts of other stuff. And it was like a really cool experience. So if you're watching and you were at the meetup group in Pittsburgh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching and everything like that. Just know that there's I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come from the localized level. And then also hopefully I can get to a word camp and stuff like that. I don't really want to fly to Portland. I'm not much of a flyer, but yeah, maybe we'll get out somewhere. What do we got here? Hey, Derek, there we go. What's up, buddy? Derek, this is the guy on screen here, founder of Conversion Bridge. Definitely go, like I said, go check them out on e-commerce plugins to use for some client sites as well. Yeah, it's tough, it's tough because I used WooCommerce. I built the portal originally with WooCommerce. It's got subscriptions in it. It's got which is an added plugin, which is annoying as shit, no doubt. But it's like it works. It doesn't have memberships because I didn't need that membership functionality. But another website that I did has subscriptions. But if you want to like do member content, you can't do with subscriptions. You got to get memberships, which is another like $250 a year. Which again, I don't really look at the price tags too much on these things because if you're doing this right, you should be making money off this stuff. But my point is like, I don't look at it from the price. I look at it from like the added shit that I have to deal with, the added plugins that I have to maintain, or this, that, or the other thing, the added weight to the websites. And I think that WooCommerce, again, I'll use the Elementor analogy. I love Elementor for what it did for me. I don't want to cast, shade on Elementor. I'm just saying that like what happens is I feel like all of these really big platforms, they're so big that in order to refactor and change everything, it's basically impossible. So if they like, think about that. If you make one mistake 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever it was, like 5, 10 years ago, like in your code base, like your fundamental thing where like in Elementor as the example, I don't want to pick on them, but like the divception thing, if they made that mistake a long time ago, but it was fine back then. But now there's like all these other people that are building these different these different page builders. And it's like, everything is so much cleaner. Like, it's just a shame that, you have to kind of like almost like refactor the whole damn thing in order to kind of recompete with the new people, even though you've built an ecosystem and it's incredible. And, there's still a lot of people using all these different things. It's just, I feel like it's a similar situation. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I love competition. I do not, even if I continue to use WooCommerce, I do not want like a world where it's the only option. So again, SureCart, North Commerce, any other ones, I'm super excited to potentially try. The only thing that I would say is this is totally personal for me. So if you guys don't see content on these things in the future, like super soon, I need to like have not a reason, like a full site build, but I need to have like a good example case to use it. And then I'll be able to like actually test it. Cause I don't want to just like throw North Commerce on a website and just like play around with it. It's like, it needs to be, I feel like it needs to be a real world example where you guys aren't going to get the value out of it. So I need to kind of play around with those types of things. But I'm open to it because this is what I do. I love testing things, learning, trying, sharing. You know that. Okay. So what else we got here? So I so understand what you mean, Mark Szymanski, with the comparison between elementary. Yeah. I mean, again, it's one of those things. It's just, I don't know if there's a way to get around it. I don't know if there's a different path that could have went. It's just kind of the nature of it. Everybody, think about it. Like Bricks, as an example, learned so much, not even being in the business back then, just learned so much from like this. I don't like the way that this thing is doing this. I know how it does it. I don't like it. Let me do it differently. And then it's like, okay, maybe it's better. Maybe it's worse. It's amazing though. It's like you learn so much. It's funny because you want to start as early as you can, but then if you wait, you learn so much from the other people that have made their mistakes. It's like, it's awesome to learn. I always say this, it's awesome to learn from your own mistakes, but it's even better to learn from other people's mistakes. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Okay, what else we got here? Skating Choreograph, thank you for your answer. I'm late for work, so I'm off. Take care. Appreciate you stopping in. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys for commenting, everything like that. Derek here, what's up, buddy? WooCommerce is deep ecosystem, but SureCart must nicer with admin UI, single set of features instead of a bunch of random plugins. Exactly. Like what Adam's doing over there with Sure everything, like Sure insert thing here with members, triggers, like there's so much stuff. Very, 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 very enticing. Because a lot of that stuff is something that I like. Again, I was just talking about the members, the subscriptions, everything. I think that actually might be kind of the way to go. I think right now, I think it was Kevin Geary that said something recently about licensing. I think, what's the new platform that's doing it? Oh, I can't remember. He mentioned something in a video, and he was saying he was going to change it for ACSS or whatever, but he was going to go from easy digital downloads to SureCart because like the licensing and everything like that. I think I'm getting that right. But my point is, like, if it can do all that, it's like, oh God, now we're really, this is really tempting, And I think am I correct in saying, funny story quickly about SureCart. I followed WP Crafter, obviously, and Adam for a very long time. And I got like the initial email when SureCart originally came out. And I was in the Facebook group for a time, and I had the beta like plugin. Like I got it. I don't know how he sent it. I don't know, whatever. Like I got it though. And I played around with it. I'm like, this is awesome. But at the time it's like, it's super early and I didn't really have a specific use case for it. But now just to see what it's kind of continued to grow into and evolve, it's like, it's amazing. So yeah, just super happy for them. And I definitely need to kind of circle back and start doing it. Cause I was like, this is crazy. Like this is like headless, I think, right? Like you have to have an account or something. I don't know if they've changed that at all, but like you had to have an account, and I just need to get back on it because I'm really considering using it for using it for the portal. The portal's a weird project because I'm doing it for myself, you know what I mean? And I'm doing it for you guys. And I want to try to give you guys the most amount of value as possible, but I also need to make like a decision that's not going to cause me a lot of like pain and annoyance, So I think SureCart might be the way to go there. I really do think that I might need to consider going that route. But yeah, so yeah, but Anything else from you guys here? What do we got? What do we got? Hey, we are at if this thing is right, we got 11 people watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. That is probably an all-time high for us. Thank you so much. I hope these are rookie numbers. We're gonna get those numbers up, but I really do appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, I mean, again, ultimately, as far as like next things and things like that, we definitely need to continue the portal series. If there's any other content too that you guys want to see, please let me know, because I have a list. Actually, I'll share that with you real quick because I want to. It's funny. I have these weird ideas all the time. I almost want to create almost like a roadmap, like a feature request thing for things that we can watch, like that I can create for you guys, and then we can kind of like vote on them. That would be sick. Oh, also, I actually really do have another thing to talk about. I will talk about that in a second, though, because it's very aligned with this. But the bento video is coming, the security stack research video, all that sort of stuff's coming. Another big one is, I don't know why I have not made a video about this yet, probably just because I've been doing other stuff. Data stores in Jet Engine. I mean, I gotta show you. I gotta show you real quick. Just let me show you. You guys might, not every single one of you might have a use case for this, but like if you and you don't need to, I don't know if you could do it without Jet Engine specifically. Like Jet Engine just makes it so easy. But this data stores thing, people ask about this all the time in the groups, and there is some good content, but there's not like, it seems like there's always like a monkey wrench thrown in there that people don't know how to do, or it doesn't exactly line up with exactly what they want to do. You can make a damn like YouTube history with this thing. It's amazing. It's like data stores, the idea of data stores here, and it works with it, like, it's working with bricks, it's working with element, like it's just so cool. Data stores is like bookmarks, favorites, wish lists, recently viewed, likes counter. Like you can do all of this stuff with the built-in structural, like kind of like, we'll just call it a feature because it's not like an element or anything, like the feature of data store in Jet Engine. Now, I'm sure you can obviously do this straight up with WordPress as well. I'm sure they're not doing anything super crazy, but it's awesome that like Crockablock they're so slept on, and it's just so it's crazy. They've only been good to me. So, but like the data store thing is, like if you wanted to have, everybody always wants the wish list, right? And they'll have like some sort of wish list, maybe like plugin or element that they're using. But instead of that, you can create your own, where your wish list can have its own like query loop, or like, whatever you want that block to be. It can look however you want. You can query the data in, and then you click basically a trigger, like a data store trigger, and then it goes to that list. You can remove it, add it, whatever. It's crazy. Recently viewed is literally like a history. Like you could create a YouTube history. Let's say you had a website. So I'm going to do this on my website. I know it's not done yet, guys. I apologize, but there's going to be a lot of stuff on there. Just got to be patient. But there's going to be like, you can have a bunch of videos on a website, right? They can even be like YouTube videos, but they're each individual posts. So you have a custom post type video, and then you have like 100 videos. Well, if I click on one of those videos, and I go to that single, right? Like that, if I land on that video single page, and this actually, I'm going to have to talk to Derek about this, because this is very similar to, there's a setting in Conversion Bridge where you can track like YouTube video plays and things like that, or track videos that are embedded into your media library. This is very interesting, but like, this is kind of like, that's tracking the plays and everything like that. But this is tracking in a way that just like the viewing of that single, right? So let's say like this was a rainforest guest house. Let's say that was a video. If you click on that to go to that single, then it will automatically be added to your recently viewed, and you can adjust that and how you can do all this. So in Crockablock here, you could create like a full history of everything that the person has looked at. And to me, that was just like, that's amazing. That is literally crazy. And then obviously you can have like bookmarks, and these are just other, options, whatever. I'll drop this link in the chat too, if you guys want to check this out. But definitely have a use case. A recently viewed screenshot, definitely have a use case for that. I mean, dude, it's crazy. I mean, it's wild. Again, the wish list thing, everybody always talks about that. Favorites, it's the same thing. The other thing that they don't have it here, but I'm going to do it like 100%, is compare. Have you ever gone to like Apple or one of them phone websites where it has like every single phone model, and you've ever like pressed like compare this one and compare this one, and you could have normally like 3 side by side? You could build that too. It's the same concept. Data stores are just like, I mean, I guess it's data storage methods or whatever, but like that, it's just like kind of like taking specific like pieces of content, like those posts or whatever, and then saying, hey, like this is we're denoting this one, and this one, or X, you know, if it's recently viewed, we're denoting all of them, and we're just like storing them kind of like, again, I don't know. It's just a little deeper than I know right now, but like into a specific like table or something like that. And the cool part is you have different methods. They actually have user IP now as well. I think that was just released this year, this week or whatever. But you can store it in the cookies, the user metadata, the session, or the local storage. And the idea is that if you do it in cookies, then it's like, you know, it's just in the cookies until it's cleared. They don't have to be logged in or whatever. But for instance, if you make somebody log in, then you can do it directly to their user metadata. And I don't think that would ever go away because it's directly associated with them. So I mean, again, you just take these two concepts of like what you can do and how you can store the stuff. And I just want to do a whole video on some different concepts and cool things, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that that we could try there. So yeah, but that's a really cool one. And then the other thing, let me go back to my list here. The other big thing that I want to do is like I want to do like the cardinal rules of web design. And I don't know if I'll call it that or not, but like there's just so many things that I see and I answer from day to day in like Facebook groups and stuff like that. It'll be on the website. It'll kind of be like a not, I probably won't call it insights. I'll just call it like something, I don't know, but like, it'll be like all these different tips of like little like paragraphs or quick liners where it's like, if it's objectively like pretty true, if I can't think of a reason to not do it XYZ this way, then I'm going to write it down. I'm just gonna be like, here's a fucking blueprint. Just like follow this to get like, you know, 70% of the way there. And then the rest is subjective and you can do whatever you want. Like I think that would be super impactful and helpful for people. So I'm giving you guys the sneak peeks here. These are definitely gonna help. Here's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about. If you're in this like these live streams, and obviously I appreciate, again, I can't even tell you how grateful I am for the support. I feel like we're possibly a little early to this, but I do want to start thinking about it because I think it's important. So a lot of value, hopefully you guys are getting from the YouTube videos and everything like that. The website is going to even double down on that, triple down on that. We have like private consulting too that I offer. That is another option. But really what I want to do is I want to have like more of a group thing, and everybody is doing this already. And I just want to be kind of like a part of it, is like a community. So I'm in the early phases of thinking about like, you know, potentially a circle community or a school community. And there's just so much stuff that we could do there. So it'd be like specific, you know, kind of like, I don't want to say courses per se, because it would be courses, but they would be like kind of included, you know, obviously like group coaching calls and things like that or whatever. And then also, like obviously the community of all the great people that would be in it. So again, I'm just thinking about that is super like out there, as far as like when that might actually take place. But I will start to be putting some feelers out to see if anybody like actually is interested in that, because I don't want to do it where, you know, it's a community, and I would be absolutely a complete hypocrite if I created a community and I didn't like value that community and the offer wasn't strong there, because I've been in communities before where the community's been really good, and I've been in communities where the community's really bad, and I know that the delta there is like the whole fucking offer. You know what I mean? Like it's like it has to be good people, it has to be good content, it has to be like actually valuable, and I would like to not fuck that offer up if I could. So just to be completely candid. So that's my thought process there, just really early on. But that's something else that I'm also having in the back of my head along with all these other ideas. But I think that's pretty much it. If we have any other questions, I can answer them. But we did a pretty good hour here. I love these. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for supporting, jumping on the live, all the comments and everything like that. More content coming. Like I said, as soon as I get off this, I'm going to film the next client portal video. It will be up. I don't want to say tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow. And I got to finish that up because I need to finish it up just for myself, because I don't want to be in necessarily Elementor land for that part of my business anymore. Would love the bricks part of it, all that to be going well. And then, yeah, our website's coming. The other thing too is I'm gonna be rebuilding my agency website in bricks. I'm already doing it, but like I'm gonna be launching that, and I think it's probably gonna, just for my own sanity, I'm probably not gonna do anything super crazy to that just yet. But I do also think that it would be kind of cool once that's kind of done, or I can talk more about my thought process on that during a live stream, because I think that if you guys do run agencies or you do deal with clients, I'm going to be obnoxiously direct with my clients from now on, the way that I market to them, so much so that it might be actually a little jarring and I might have to tone it down. But it's just like I've gotten to the point where I know exactly what I want to say, and the persona that I want to have around the business of Find a Tech, that I don't want, like, I just don't want to. I know I'm just know exactly much more now than I did before, like where I want my ideal client to be, like what I want them to kind of think about, how we want to interact with them. So that's kind of my thought process now, is like I just want to be extremely direct. I want to set the expectations. I want to set the processes and everything like that. And it's like, this is how we're gonna work together, or we're not gonna work together, and we can refer you to somebody else. It's no problem. But I just think that's really important. I think if you have a specific client that you're trying to attract, if you're very direct with them, then hopefully it takes, and then they'll want to work with you if it's all aligned. And if it's not aligned, then it's not good for either of you. So you probably shouldn't work together. So I don't know, but that's it. Joe J, thank you so much. See you next week at the live every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here. And we're also on other platforms too. I mean, this is multi-streaming to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that jazz, LinkedIn. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Can't thank you enough. Not just incredibly grateful for the support. Let's keep going. If you have any thoughts, any ideas, any content ideas whatsoever, please let me know, and I will be sure to throw them on the list. But thank you so much, and we'll talk to you guys in the next one.